Okay, in today's video, we have Lynette Zang. Now, this is a clip from one of our most popular videos. Lynette and I together have done a few interviews, and together they have amassed about 2 million views. And there's a lot of new people to the channel, and there's a lot of very important things that she has to say about the currency reset, about precious metals, and about understanding what is really happening right now in the world. And so I'm going to be playing that for you. Make sure you hit the like button on this side or that side, wherever you find it. Comment down below, Lynette rules, right there down below. Last but not least, her team has offered everyone here in our community complimentary strategy session. Now, ITM trading and what Lynette is all about is basically helping you craft your own wealth strategy with gold and silver, with precious metals, as we head into what I believe is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in human history, as currency devaluation starts to really ramp itself up. And so right there down below, you'll see a link where you can schedule your strategy call with Lynette and her team right down below in the description and pinned to the comments right there down below to help you craft your precious metals wealth preservation strategy as we enter into some interesting times. Without further ado, enjoy this video. I have like almost every dollar that I own is either in physical gold, physical silver, or I have, you know, some exposure to some miners as well. And sometimes I, especially being a little younger and not having as much research and financial experience, I do have to say sometimes I do get worried that, you know, I either bought too much or they're gonna keep smashing the price forever, and I did a dumb decision and I shouldn't have done this to myself because it's such a manipulated market. And so I was wondering if you could speak on that sentiment, which I'm sure you see right now because you have your own YouTube channel, and I don't know if you read all the comments, but you know, lately the comments have been, there's a lot of people that are very worried. Then there's a lot of people that want to go throw in the towel for Bitcoin or go back to big tech stocks. What's your feeling? What's your response to me saying something like that, and kind of your advice to me, but then also to the other people that are kind of feeling that sentiment of thinking it's so manipulated, it's not worth it anymore?
Well, what I would say to you is that I believe that it's critically important for you to really understand the true fundamental value of any asset or instrument that you are investing your wealth in. What's its true value? Because ultimately, everything always goes to its true value. And with something that's physical, something that's digital, I mean, history shows us VOOP, it can evaporate, it can just go away. So while I understand the push to it, and I certainly see a lot of advantages in this new digital service economy, we still live on this planet in a real world. And with gold and silver, or anything tangible, really, anything that's real and tangible, things always move from undervaluation to fair valuation to overvaluation to fair valuation to undervaluation. It's like this constant figure eight eternal loop. And right now we're like here on that loop. We aren't even marginally close to its fair valuation. And knowing how manipulated this is, also know this. There will come a time when it benefits those that are in power to revalue this currency. When they see confidence going away, they will revalue this currency against gold. And what is now currently undervalued will no longer be undervalued. So if you accumulate it, I mean, look at what the smartest guys in the room about money are doing for themselves. That's central banks, and they're buying more than they ever historically have, right? So if you don't know anything else, but you do what the smartest guys in the room are doing for themselves, you are most likely to come out on top. So I would tell you the true fundamental value conservatively of 1 ounce of physical gold right now is somewhere north of $12,000. If you can buy it at 1825 or 1900 or 5000 or 9000, it's a bargain. And you should always, in my opinion, everybody gets to do what they're comfortable with. But in my opinion, what we're looking at is a sucker's rally. I'm seeing a lot of insiders trading out and leaving it to the little guy. It has me quite concerned that the naive people that got that $1,200 stimulus check has decided to be a trader, because I got news for you. You are not smarter than the algorithms and Wall Street, who knows how to fleece people. And it is very typical to get the public involved before the crash. And that's what's happening. So you always want the lion's share of your wealth in an undervalued asset that is in a long-term positive trend, and the least amount of your wealth in an overvalued asset or instrument that's in a long-term negative trend. And the way that you guys know this, regardless of what anybody says, is to go ahead and look at the graph, and what you really want to see are higher and higher lows. Because if you keep getting higher and higher lows, I guarantee you, you will get higher highs. And that's what's happening in both gold and silver on a long-term basis. It's easy to manipulate short-term. That's nothing. But the real trend, because you might say to me, but look at the stock market, it's over 30,000 now. Isn't that great? And it's going to keep going up. Yeah, because they're printing money. They're printing dollars. Look at the trend of the dollar, and you will clearly see a series of lower and lower and lower highs. And I guarantee you, and I can't give you a lot of guarantees, but these I can give you, as long as you continue to get lower and lower highs, you will get lower lows. And the stock market can only be converted, and the same thing is true for the cryptocurrencies. I'm doing a little more research to understand these better, but they're a trading vehicle. This is all trading. So short term, great. If you have a portion of your wealth, you want to be a trader, you're comfortable with it, it won't hurt you to lose it, rock and roll hoochie coo. But if you are a long-term investor, a real investor, and a strategist, the only undervalued asset that I see are the monetary metals. And anything that you can only convert back into dollars and have no utility outside of that one area, why are you holding? Why would you want to put most of your wealth and risk your wealth in an overvalued instrument that is designed to rob you? Because the last time I looked, 1 trillion times zero was still zero.
Okay, so let me ask you. You sell gold and silver, and you're on the front lines, and the sentiment's been low as it's been trending a little backwards for the last 4 months. Then we had the big price dump over the last, couple weeks.
Right.
Have you had a lot of people calling you and selling right now? What has been the sentiment from your end?
Well, for one thing, I really don't deal with clients, so I'm not exactly on that front line anymore.
Got it.
However, I do pay a lot of attention, and we spend so much time on education for our clients, and we always have. It's like one of the biggest keys. I mean, I've always said, look, no matter what you do, you are paying fees. Even if you're sitting in cash, you're paying that inflation fee. The difference between everybody else and us is we are going to earn that. So I don't see a lot of selling. And I mean, I do see the lists that come through. Probably ask Eric that question. He would know the answer better than I would. But I certainly see what's going through the books. And it has slowed from March and April, But our clients really do know what's happening. So they're not kind of out there floating on the wind and going, oh, gold is going down, I should sell it. It's not a trade. It's an insurance policy. And so, no, I don't see a lot of people selling it.
Interesting. So let's talk about your outlook on that as we kind of wrap up. Some people saying this is the end of the gold rally, it's going to go lower. Other people saying it's too manipulated to ever move up much more. What do you kind of foresee with your team and the research you guys are doing? What are your expectations for gold and silver in 2021? Some people say a vaccine comes out, it's going to kill it. Well, what's your expectation?
Okay. Well, for one thing, as a technician, it has tested some support levels, okay? But what you really need to understand, and what we really saw back in March and April, it's cheap to go in and buy a contract on the COMEX exchange. It's $150 to control like almost $1 million worth of physical gold. And they can create as many of these contracts as they want. What we're also seeing is that very wealthy individuals have been going in, and that because those contracts never usually stand for delivery, they usually just roll them over. It's just a trade to make money. So it's cheap and easy to manipulate the short-term price. And as you watch gold correct down recently, as you alluded to, it was because of some options that were expiring. And so it was a good way for them to cover short positions, et cetera. And as soon as they did that, you saw a $40 move in spot gold, just what? 2 days ago or something like that, right? And gold has been moving up since then. So what I would say is absolutely anything can happen in the short term. And the closer we get to crisis, the more I expect to see the spot price battered, because again, a rising gold price is an indication of a failing currency. So in 2021, actually I'm with like Citibank and Goldman Sachs and a number of the big calls that have come out to say that on the spot market, we're going to see it at 2,500, but it's still severely undervalued. And just as the central banks have trained everybody, buy the dips, because we're going to print more money and push those markets up. Well, I would say the same exact thing for your gold and your silver. It's a freaking gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. Personally, I take advantage of it. I don't care whether spot gold is up, down, or sideways. It's irrelevant because that's a contract. And what we saw in like March and April were premiums of $70 over spot for just bullion. That's because in the physical world, there's a finite amount. And let me tell you, there is no fever like gold fever.
I love it. All right. So last question, if you just want to take 30 seconds. I've said before something similar to what you said. At some point, it seems that these people that are the buyers of gold, which are largely the central banks, at some point, they should have a vested interest in letting the price run for the sake of their own leveraging power, balance sheets, whatever you want to call it. Is that kind of your interpretation of that when you said that earlier?
No.
Got it.
They will continue to suppress the price of gold and accumulate it, taking it away from our ability to accumulate it, which is why it's so important to do it now. Do it today, do it tomorrow, do it the next day. Just keep doing it, because that is how they perform the reset. So they will continue to suppress it as they continue to accumulate it until they are ready to start lopping off zeros. When they start lopping off zeros, that's when you're going to see the spot price explode to the heavens. In Venezuela, I think overnight, the first time they did it, it's up much more than this now, but they suppressed it forever. And then I think overnight it was up like 3,500%.
Oh, wow.
Right. So it isn't, they're leverage. I mean, central banks
Interesting. So
create
they're
the
doing
money.
this so they can corner more of the market for a long-term end game, which is to have a reset, and then use gold as a leveraging power where they say, look, we have a reset and we have all the gold and everything's okay. And it's to take it away from everybody
Exactly.
else. Understood.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to say you can trust it because history shows us.
Right.
If something has happened,
And they're like, but
100% of the
don't
time.
ask us why we have all of it, but you can trust the gold, remember?
Exactly,
Okay, understood.
exactly. So, just like you were telling me earlier about being able to audit the Fed, right? Audit Fort Knox. I mean, these things are
Yeah,
opaque
right.
to us because they don't really want us to understand what's happening. Additionally, they make things intentionally complex so that people do not question what they're doing. Oh, I don't understand money. It's really very simple. You get paid and it takes labor and you get paid for your efforts. Well, that's what gold money is. It takes labor, energy, and effort to pull it out of the ground. So when we're on a gold standard, you're trading labor for labor. Now you're trading labor for debt. You tell me, does that make sense?
No,
And going into it, you know what they're talking about? The new system being backed by contracts.
Huh.
Contracts. How many contracts get written? That's what the GDP is all about, is contracts. This is outrageous to me. Is it outrageous to
No,
you?
it is outrageous. And I do know, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you do have to go. We are in our final minute of our session, but I thought that was a really interesting way to end because it makes you think about there's always a buyer on the dips. Well, it's the same people suppressing the price that are cornering it for a long term. So that's an amazing way to end. I truly appreciate it. Just want to be respectful of the fact that you got to head out right now. Everyone, I'll put the link to Lynette's channel if you are unfamiliar with it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Give us a comment down below if this was amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I just want to say one more thing because really what makes us different than any other firm out there is the strategy that I initially created from my studies. I started studying currencies in '87. So while we do everything in physical metals, gold and silver, we really like to help individuals customize a strategy. You're working with my consultants, you're working with me, and we've all come together with all of our experience and made the strategy better and better and better. We're always looking to do that, and we're always looking to be of service.
Beautiful. So I'll put the link right there down below for everyone. And thank you so much. It was a pleasure to get to chat with you and get to meet you. All right, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button on either side to send this video out to more people. Comment down below, Lynette rules, right there down below if you enjoyed this video. Last but not least, if you haven't yet, be sure to sign up right there down below to get your complimentary strategy session in the description and in the comments, pinned to the comment right there down below with Lynette and her team to help you build your wealth preservation strategy with gold and silver as we enter into what very well might be the last and final greatest wealth transfer in human history. And so right there down below is the link to schedule your call with Lynette and team for your strategy call in the description and comments right there down below. And remember, comment, Lynette rules.